Hello and welcome back to the workshop. Today I'm going to be doing a blade change on the Parkside metal cutting bandsaw PMB1100A1. I'm also going to be doing a freehand cut to see if I can improve on how square it is. Square it cuts with the original blade. So that's what we're going to do first. Now the thing you have to bear in mind about a freehand cut is when you fire it up, it'll kick. So let it settle down before you start cutting. Right, I'm just going to clamp that down. 2 secs. Grab a couple of clamps. Try that again. Right, well, don't do those for the moment. Apart from where I missteered it, it's clearly possible to steer that down. It's not, obviously I wasn't looking at the back side, so you'd have to be careful with that. Right. But it seems to have done slightly better than before. So, blade change. First things first, I'm going to be trying the Milwaukee blades. You can see, just to show you there on the back of there, you can see that there's a whole series of blade teeth recommendations and thicknesses. This is recommended for up to 1/2 inch thick steel cutting in steel, angle iron, copper and plastic. I'd have gone for a different blade if I could get hold of it. Right, just going to turn the socket off and unplug it. Get some gloves, because I'm going to need those in a minute. So the blade change. 2 screws, one there, they need to come out. Okay, next thing, these covers slide off. Push it off like that. Off it comes like that. Then what we're going to do is pull that up. I'm just going to find the Allen key for that. Get that as much out of the way as possible. Apparently you should have that down as far as you practically can when you're working. Okay, so now we put gloves on. And what we want to do here is release the blade tension here. Okay, if you put it round to here it loosens it off. If you wind it all the way back to here it tighten up again. Let me show you what I mean. So that is back to where it should be. And then if I pull that back, it pulls back out again. So don't do that. Right. So put that there. Just show you that again. Like that. then we're going to pull the blade off from the rollers first. Sugar, that's caught under there. We might need a little pry to help it out. There we go. And out the blade comes. Open a pack of new blades. And stick gloves on for that, because otherwise I'm going to go right. Okay. Right. Now to stuff that back in a box. At least a little bit. Okay, so there we have a Milwaukee blade. Interestingly enough, it's got a little bit more of a more obvious weld on it. So, whack that in the rollers first. And then, without getting it out of the rollers, hold on, is that the right way around? Yes. So you've got to make sure this pulls this way, so the teeth need to be cutting going that way, and they are. So we're now going to go around there. And because of the nature of the beast, it will want to pull out. It's tricky to get it over the second roller for some reason, not quite sure why. It seems to be built to be irritating. What I'm going to try and do is tighten that up like that. And I'm just going to do is turn the speed right down to as low as it goes. Plug it in again and just turn it very slowly, just see if that pulls over. No, that's pulling out again. Okay, so I'll just unplug it again. Right, so I'm going to loosen that off. Okay, we've got it in the rollers now. Alright, so hold it in the rollers with one hand, and you feed it round with the other. Oh, the joy. This is where you could do with 3 hands. Just get that over there. Right, so if I can get that in there, hold that like that. Put it across. Right, so I've tightened it up a little bit, I haven't tightened it up all the way. Okay, that's now tight all the way. A gentle run up. Okay, Plug it in, put the covers back on. Now this being a 10 TPI blade will be a much more aggressive cut. So I'm going to run it a bit slower. Put this workpiece guard down because if I'm cutting freehand, when I'll try a freehand cut in a sec, it will pull hard into this plate here. Down out of the way. Right. My gloves on just in case I have to grab something that's sharp. And let's see what it does. Stick that on 3. Yeah, 3. Okay. Right, well apart from being difficult to see where you're cutting because you need it butted up against that, it certainly cuts better, albeit I managed to flare it out to the bottom. So now what we're going to do is mount it back up, see how it cuts. That's a fearsome blade, that one is. Right, so out of the way over there. Stand that up about there, stick it up there, locate the first screw, right, okay, Let's see how it cuts now. Well, that's still a long way from straight. It's pulling over into it as it comes down. Let me see if I can... Let's see if tightening that up a bit was going to help. If it's pulling across. Oh, it could be. Let's just tweak that one up there a bit. Now that's going to be a lot easier with the socket. Just going to pause the video for a sec. Okay, sorry, my mistake. 19mm socket. Just going to it's a bit tighter. We'll try that one again. So you can try a slightly slower speed. Now we'll try a higher speed. Well, it's a bit better. I did put it slightly to the left. As you can see, it's not particularly, not cutting that particularly straight, really. Hold on, let me just pull that down over there. You see, it's just not cutting that particularly straight or square. Let me try that and just let it drop one more time. And there you go. That is disappointing. That's got to be down to the... Let me just see how it does in that lump of aluminium I cut the other day. I'm not going to be able to get that in there, it's too short now. Might just do it. Okay, I'll stick it. purely enough. Right, so there you have it. Actually, I will try and see what it does with this stuff. And you don't need it. You don't really need a square on that to see how far that's out. So, I have to think about that. I think it's probably the nature of the stand. That's a problem. Which is, again, quite disappointing, as I said. You know, you'd hope that they would be able to make something that came down vertically, but it seems to, you see now, as it comes down. Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Side I cut. No, that's the side I cut. Yeah, as it comes down, it seems to pull in that way. So it's cutting like that instead of cutting down vertically. I wonder if we can fix that somehow. I'll have a think about that. But that's disappointing. If I've got an update to post, I will. What I will say is Milwaukee blades go through metal like a knife through butter. I'll put a part number in the description down below. Milwaukee part numbers for the various different blades. They certainly are very good, and they certainly work on this. And the ones for the Aldi equivalent of this tool don't. But I'm going to go away, have a cup of tea, and have a serious think about how I can improve how this blade tracks down as it goes down, because that is potentially a very, 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 very useful tool. But the reality is it's completely useless if it can't cut square, or indeed at an angle, and clearly it isn't at the moment. So thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.